Press out the knees and lift the hips high. Come back in line and then slowly release back down to the floor. All the way down, imprint the spine and then release into neutral. As we come up, we lift the tailbone, draw the back to the floor and then peel the back away from the floor. Send the hips up, keep the rib-hip connection and the ribs down. Send out the knees, come back in and lower back down. Now, if you do have any issues perhaps with sciatica or sacroiliac joint problems, the knees out might be too much. So we may just want to lift up into bridge and come back straight down from there. Same if you've got any back issues where, again, your back doesn't like extension. When you lift those hips quite high, you come into a little bit of extension. That might be too much. So feel free to stay lower with your bridge. And you might be okay to then do your knees out that way and then just release back down, okay? We're just going to do 3 more. So 3 more, just carry on. And as I say, bridge with knees out or just bridge. And then that option to either take it all the way to full bridge or maybe just half bridge. And when you finished your last one, once you've come down, just make sure that you then draw those knees in towards your chest, give your legs a little hug, and then make sure you roll onto your side. So wherever you've got any back issues, please don't roll straight up from there. So let yourself roll onto one side and allow yourself to come up that way. And we're going to come onto our other side. So we want to be on the other side of our body. And again, we want our pillows. So we may just want one, just to rest between our head and arm. We might want the arm in front and our head to rest on a pillow. And we want to straighten those legs out. So remember, we take a nice straight line through the body. We can see the toes as we look down. Obviously, we've got the easier option of bending that bottom leg. So again, if you find yourself a little bit too wobbly in this position, bottom leg is bent, just makes it a little bit more, gives you a bit more support. So flex the feet, toes point forward, send that top heel away on that top leg. Keep this hip at the top. And then with your top leg only, point, lift, flex lower. We're going to do 8 lifts. So you point to lift and you flex to lower. And as you're flexing to lower, just remember, make that leg really long. Feel that little bit of a stretch here and those hips realign. Draw in. So remember, keep the belly button drawing in. We're working again at that 30% contraction. We want that top hip to stay at the top. It's not rolling forwards or backwards. And our upper body should be relaxed, not tense. That hand may be either on the floor for support or rest it just by your leg. Again, don't lift that leg too high. So we're really focusing on strength work into the glutes on this side, that outer thigh. When we finish, just relax that leg for a moment, just have a little rest. Then we're going to be moving both legs. So when you're ready, take both legs away from the floor and then move one leg forwards, one leg back. So switch it slowly and remember that control. Maybe start with a small range of movement to begin with, and then you may be able to work a little bit more into it. Again, we're making sure that the top hip isn't starting to fall forwards or back. So we're keeping the control. And again, we have got that option to just let the legs slide across the floor. Again, I want you to remember that switch on, keep that chest open, keep that hand if you need it on the floor, and your head should still be rested. We're going to do 2 more. And then I want you to bring the legs back together and down. Knees come in. You might want to give that thigh or a rub or a tap. So can we take the arm out in front, lay your head on a cushion, make sure your head is relaxed. You've got that gap between your ear and your shoulder. You're not all hunched up. Your palm is facing up to the ceiling. Knees are in front. The hand is on top. And again, remember, if you've got any issues where this is uncomfortable, maybe you have a pillow between your legs at night, then perhaps you might want to just slide one underneath. It doesn't have to be a big one. So we're going to lift the top arm and we're going to reach it up and we're going to reach it back. And obviously I can't go as far because I'm too far back, but as soon as you can't see your hand anymore, you've maybe got a little bit too far. We want to feel that stretch opening out into the chest. What we don't want is to allow those ribs to start to really lift. So I want you to think about keeping your top ribs in. Keep them in. Take that stretch and then lower back down. We're going to do 6, so we've got 5 more. We're keeping the knees where they are. And don't let this shoulder rise up, so keep it away from your ear as you take it back. If you take your hand too far and that shoulder starts to creep up, then maybe again you've gone too far. So just really concentrate on your range of movement. Allowing your head to move if possible, but if that's too much, just keeping your head still. Just maybe take your arm to the ceiling and that might be enough. And don't forget, one side sometimes feels different to the other side, so you might have more range of movement anywhere on one side. You might have a problem more on one side of your back or hip, shoulder. So once you've done 6, bring that hand down. Have a little rest. And then what I want you to do is I want you to come up to sitting. So if you make your way up to sitting nice and slowly, and particularly if you've got any lower back issues, make sure that you are sitting on something. Now you might want to sit on a chair, you might want to sit up against the wall, but definitely place something underneath your bottom. And that will just help you to sit up, but also keep that length in your spine. Just support that lower part of your back. Legs can be in any position. So I'm crossing my legs, but that might be too much in your knees. So obviously if you want to sit with your legs wide, whatever position is comfortable, but also what position is best to keep you in a more upright position. So once we're in that seated position, we're just going to rest our hands on the legs. And if possible, just take a little circle, and it doesn't have to be too far. And maybe just do 4 in one direction and then 4 in the other direction. So you're moving round in a circle. And then you're changing direction so that you're moving the other way 4 times or thereabouts. And we're just getting some remobilization through the body. We're going to come back to the center. We're going to take right hand down. We're going to reach the left arm just gently up and over. Be careful with your shoulder if you've got any shoulder issues. And again, more of a bend, maybe not as far if that shoulder is playing up or the neck. And then 1 more to each side. And then come back to the center. As you come back to the center, take your right hand behind you. Take your left hand across to your right thigh and just take a little twist. But again, with your twists, with rotation, just be careful. So remember that to rotate, we want to firstly keep the spine lengthened. We never want to try and rotate in a flexed, hunched position. So really sit up to rotate and only go to where obviously you feel a stretch. Maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not painful. And if you get any pain, you ease off or come back straight back. Come back to the center, swap over to the other side. Remember that it might be one side that you have the problem with, so one side may be fine. Maybe to go further on one side to the other side. And again, come back to the center. Take your hands to the floor and just take a little walk forwards, just gently flexing the spine. Be careful if you've got any disc bulges, maybe in that lower part of your back, you won't want to go too far forwards. We're going to come back in, take the hands behind, lift the chest. So just take a stretch. And then relax your arms. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And again, take a breath in. Take a breath out. Take a breath in, reach those arms up. Exhale, float your arms all the way down. Roll your shoulders back and down. Give yourself a clap. Well done. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good week, and I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.